And welcome back to the conversation. I'm David Schuster. There is a fascinating controversy right now over Roku. For a lot of you who are familiar, Roku, of course, is the platform that may provide your internet or your television service, your streams. They are also now allowing a channel on Roku that is essentially based on QAnon beliefs and endorsing some of what QAnon, the right-wing conspiracy stuff, has been banting about for the last year or so. The channel's called Burrow. It is called a educational channel on Roku, which is a bit strange. But in any case, here to talk about all this, Alex Kaplan. He's a senior researcher for Media Matters. Alex, you've been digging into all this. What exactly is this Burrow channel, and what is Roku saying about it?
Yeah, so this is a channel that is essentially dedicated to far right or to conspiracy theories and extremism. Many of them, much of the content on the channel associated with the QAnon conspiracy theory. So it includes stuff like stuff claiming that like there's a cabal, with pedophilia, direct stuff about Pizzagate, which was kind of QAnon's precursor. It has a section dedicated to QAnon. It's called Q, referring to QAnon's central figure. It also has anti-vaccine stuff. So it's a lot of stuff that's been connected to QAnon and is explicitly QAnon. Roku has been, they've claimed that they've been looking into it, but that was almost 2 weeks ago. And the channel is still up. So I'm not sure what's happening with Roku's response.
And for everybody who's sort of baffled by what this QAnon stuff is, as Alex has pointed out, it's a far right belief that there's a global pedophile ring, largely operated, if I understand this correctly, they allege by Democrats, by high-ranking Democratic officials, that the political establishment, though in both parties, is protecting this pedophile ring, and that there are all sorts of clues to this that have been dropped over the past year called Q drops. Which are essentially coded messages with people take to being reaffirmation that this is happening, that Donald Trump is coming back as president, that all this is going to be blown wide open at the right time when Q, whoever that is, decides it is time to move. And so there are a lot of these channels and discussions and boards where people talk about the various theories and try to interpret things like the number 17 and why that matters. It's baffling to most of us, but to people who really believe it, it sounds like, Alex, this is a place where they can continue to promote their theories. And again, it just seems so strange that it's not educational per se. Maybe it's opinion, but the idea that anybody's actually being educated by this is nonsense.
Yeah, the channel, the people behind the channel have basically explicitly said that an aim of the channel is to, quote unquote, red pill people, which is basically referring to indoctrinating people with extremist beliefs and conspiratorial beliefs. So they've been promoting that. There have been people online, on social media, actually, promoting the channel, encouraging other people to join the channel or to download the channel on Roku. Some of the social media content has actually gotten millions of views on social media, promoting the channel. The channel itself even has, as its like slogans, essentially calls itself the Red Pill Network, and has as its logo literally a rabbit going into a hole, which is referring to like rabbit holes. And it also has as a slogan, "Follow the White Rabbit," which is another slogan that has been tied to QAnon in the past.
One of the other theories that QAnon has linked itself to is this idea that that babies are being killed, or freshly born babies are being killed, and that their blood is being, I guess, then processed into some sort of drug to help the elites live longer. It's pretty wacky stuff, but I guess. My question is, there's some people who can say, look, this is crazy. We agree it's crazy, but why not err on the side of allowing everything, allow everybody to have a channel, allow everybody to have a platform to exchange whatever crazy stuff they want, as opposed to an entity like Roku or anybody else cutting back on anybody. What's the reaction to that?
Well, Roku has their own policies. Literally, Roku has policies that prohibit content that can incite violence, place individuals or groups in imminent harm, or otherwise unlawful or encouraging illegal activity, or contain false, irrelevant, or misleading information. These are Roku's own policies. I didn't make them up. Additionally, Roku has under its own precedent in the past taken down channels It has taken down a channel in the past. 2 years ago, it took down a channel that was entirely dedicated to QAnon, run by QAnon influencers. It took that down after my reporting. It took down another channel. It's taken down InfoWars. It took down a channel dedicated to InfoWars, and then
just the Alex Jones channel, which is the channel that promoted the idea that Sandy Hook was a false flag, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and it took down a ban evasion InfoWars channel. Roku has precedent and its own rules, so it's not even me saying this. It's under Roku's own rules that this would seem to flagrantly violate.
Now, given that this is so flagrant, is your assessment here that this is something that has just fallen through the cracks and Roku has enough on their plate with all sorts of other distribution issues that they're trying to focus on? Or is this a conscious effort by somebody at Roku who may, with a wink and a nod, somehow support the right-wing QAnon conspiracy movement?
I can't really say why Roku is or is not doing what, I can't really speak to what exactly they're doing with the channel or not doing. What I can say is that the channel does carry ads. Roku's policy at a certain point seems to give some type of cut monetarily to Roku regarding ads. It's hard for me to say for sure exactly how the split works, but it is theoretically possible that Roku could be making money in some fashion, or at some point will make money at some point from this channel. It's also worth noting with this channel that, and the reason I report on it is that it's gotten, according to the channel's own internal metrics that it's released on its website, it has gotten at least, and it only launched in early December, by the way. Since then, it has gotten at least 300,000 installations. That's a pretty significant amount of installations. So it was notable to me that this channel potentially had ads, making money or making money in some aspect for the channel, and maybe Roku itself, and had so many viewers.
Is there a way to track who the advertisers are on Roku that are ending up being placed, in the Roku, in the channel, the Burrow channel? And is it possible for people who are infuriated with this sort of thing to then pressure the advertisers and say, look, I'm not going to buy your product if you're going to continue to promote this nonsense?
Well, the channel has made a conscious effort about who's advertising on the channel. It's basically encouraged, let's say, conspiracy theory friendly products to be on the site. I remember one of the people behind the channel has talked about on an online stream or online message. It encouraged, it even floated quote unquote Alex Jones stuff as the type of thing that they could advertise. So the type of products that are being promoted in ads on the channel are essentially the type of things. They're not, let's say, mainstream mainstream products per se. They're more conspiratorial focused.
Now, does Roku, are there a lot of channels where somebody can sign up on a Roku channel and essentially by downloading whatever the app is that, how many different channels are out there if somebody wanted to say, find something? Is this helpful to Roku to show their sort of breadth of channels and access that they have?
Yeah, I think Roku there probably are a lot of channels out there that maybe traffic in more, let's say, conspiratorial, misinformation filled type of stuff. But again, in my experience, Roku tends to be hesitant to take action on a lot of that stuff. But they still seem to have a bar based on their own rules and precedent in the past. And it seemed to me pretty clearly that this cleared it, even under Roku's history of being very cautious about taking down material.
And in Roku's own history with you, they have reacted to your previous reporting. Are you getting any sense that that the reaction or how Roku is dealing with this round of reporting that you have is different? Are they saying things differently? Are they not responding as quickly as they have in the past?
Well, I've seen other outlets reach out to Roku in response to my reporting. I believe CNN reached out and they didn't get a comment. CNET did get a response. Again, this was 2 weeks ago, saying that they were looking into it. And since then, there's been, as far as I know, nothing public from Roku since about this.
Wow. When you look at the stuff that's on their channel, what goes through your mind?
It's the type of conspiratorial content you can find, on the let's say mainstream parts of online. It's a lot of, it's basically a hub for all the big, major conspiracy theory content you can find these days, like anti-vax, QAnon, related stuff about cabals and pedophiles. It's pretty typical stuff on this type, and in certain parts of the internet.
And it's videos, it's blogs, it's essentially a platform
videos.
For all kinds of stuff.
Specifically videos.
So somebody who makes a video who wants to make some wild claim about children's blood being part of some drug that helps people live forever, they can cut this video, send it to this Burrow channel, and there's a chance that Burrow channel will put it on and it'll go right on Roku.
I guess it's possible if the people behind the channel find the video, they could put it on there.
Wow. Any idea who's behind the channel? Are there any big Republican names or conservative names that are funding the channel, sponsoring the channel?
Not that I know. I think it's being run by a certain group of just online conspiracy theorists.
Wow, it is remarkable stuff. So Alex, how often are you tracking this? When's your next update on Burrow and on Roku?
I'm trying to keep an idea, track of how many downloads this is continuing to get, which I think is continuing to climb. Still keeping an eye on if Roku takes any action, and on what the channel's doing, if it's what other steps its leadership may be taking, and other actions it may be taking in the future.
Remarkable. Alex Kaplan, he's a senior researcher for Media Matters. He's been tracking Roku and this channel that is dedicated to QAnon that is on Roku and downloadable from Roku. Alex, thanks for doing this. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You got it. And that'll do it for this edition of The Conversation. On behalf of Asher Cofield, Bart Kyle, Mark Gillespie, John DeSilva, Gina Kim, and the rest of the gang at the Young Turks, I'm David Schuster. Thanks for watching.